All right, it is day 27 of the government shutdown. Lawmakers may be returning to Capitol Hill, but this comes as thousands of people across the country now go without paychecks and potentially could see more Americans going without SNAP benefits. This is federal assistance for food. We are also approaching the cliff for open enrollment and Obamacare. So these are key things impacting so many people. Joining me now from Capitol Hill is Nicole Killion, our CBS News congressional correspondent. Nicole, good Monday morning to you. And this number really jumped out at me during our morning call today. 40 million Americans rely on these SNAP benefits. What is the latest on negotiations and who is about to suffer?
Well, I mean, look, I think a lot of folks out there are feeling the pain from this shutdown, whether it is people who may not get those SNAP benefits next month, workers who continue to be furloughed without pay, those who are continuing to show up for their jobs, without pay. So it's a difficult situation all around, and it certainly is taking an economic toll as well. In terms of the SNAP program, though, this is something where the USDA warned over the weekend that its well has run dry, even though USDA does have a bit of a contingency fund. But the agency indicated over the weekend that it is unlikely to tap into that to try to pay out more benefits for SNAP. Now, there is a bill floating here in the Senate from Senator Josh Hawley to try to continue those benefits, but unclear if it can get through all the necessary hurdles before that November 1st deadline hits.
And Nicole, we know that Speaker Johnson addressed reporters just a few moments ago. What jumped out at you from his remarks?
Well, obviously, the speaker continues to pin the blame on Democrats for this shutdown, saying that we need them at this point to reopen the government, particularly in the Senate. So both he and Leader Thune have continued to indicate that they just need a handful of Democrats to sign on to this clean extension of government funding. He was joined by the SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler, who talked about small business loans being blocked for hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses across the country. And so how that is starting to impact Main Street as well. So as I mentioned, the pinch is being felt everywhere. But again, Democratic leaders, for their part, continue to insist that Republicans need to come to the table for this shutdown to end. More specifically, that they need to continue to address this issue of rising health care costs, especially ahead of the open enrollment period for the Affordable Care Act, which kicks off in just a matter of days.
Yeah, it will impact so many of the people watching. Nicole Killion across all the latest for us. Nicole, thank you.
Are you a good person?
That's the first video. And here, another thing that I saw as I was watching that video, which we can play real quick, will be that Hurricane Melissa. Let's get that.
Hurricane Melissa growing to a Category 5 this morning.
How are you feeling?
Well, right now, worried.
The deadly storm churning through the Caribbean and preparing to pummel Jamaica through the coming days. Residents filling up gas canisters to power generators and boarding up windows as the monster storm approaches. Even zoo workers in Jamaica's capital city are busy relocating animals. At least 3 storm-related deaths have been confirmed in Haiti, along with 1 fatality in the Dominican Republic, where dozens of people are currently in shelters, including this mother and her 4-month-old infant, after first responders rescued them from a flooded home. I spoke with one woman in Kingston who says she suffers from lupus and is traveling by bus to her daughter's home.
Even though I have my medication here, I'm still not taking any chance.
Many American tourists are trying to cut their vacation short. Some passengers arriving in the U.S. on one of the last flights out.
There was a lot of turbulence. It was almost like getting out and watching the rain come behind us. But luckily we made it.
Others stranded, including Nicole Doyon, who is visiting from Miami on a yoga retreat. But she says after exhausting every option to get home, she's stuck and will have to ride out the hurricane.
There was nothing available. At this point, there are no options.
Yeah, and conditions expected to continue to deteriorate here in the coming hours. Government officials saying that all of the emergency shelters here are now open, many of them still not full, but officials anticipate that could change in the coming hours. Savannah?
George Solis leading us off. Thank you.
All right, Dylan in for Al this morning. Dylan, good morning to you. A lot of folks really worried about this one down there.
Yes, certainly across Jamaica and eventually Cuba, too. This storm is very, very slow moving. We mentioned it last week. When you have a slow moving storm, you end up with a lot of rain because it just sits over the same place for a long period of time. It's only moving west at 3 miles per hour. And look at the defined eye of this storm, a Category 5, the third Category 5 hurricane we've had this season. The last time that happened was back in 2005. Either way, though, this storm is going to continue to sit to the south of Jamaica, where we do have some hurricane warnings in effect. Now, it is going to eventually take this turn to the north-northeast. It's going to cross over Jamaica, and then it's going to remain as a Category 4, still a major hurricane before it approaches southeastern Cuba. Then it will continue to cross over Cuba, move through the southeastern Bahamas, up towards Bermuda as a Category 1 storm, and then continue on out to sea. This is no threat to the east coast of the United States, but a huge threat for Jamaica. Now, I want to point out the winds from the center of this storm only extend about 30 miles out. The hurricane force winds only extend 30 miles out from the center, but the slow movement could end up producing 40 or more inches of rainfall, especially through Jamaica. Winds could be up to 120 miles per hour. Kingston could get those hurricane force gusts as it continues to move up to the northeast. So this is something we will be keeping a very close eye on, Savannah.
All right, Dylan, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show.
So, a snap, ending November 1st, and Hurricane Melissa destroying you Israelites out there, right? You so-called Cubans, you so-called Jamaicans. So what we're seeing is the beginning of Jacob's trouble, okay? The beginning of the end, as Yahushua said. So first and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rokakodash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Yahweh to this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushua to this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'ashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. So, once again, and as you saw in that first clip, okay, snap ending on November 1st. And the reason is because of this government shutdown that started roughly 27 days ago. And, you know, they kept talking about how, oh no, you Republicans need to switch to our side. And the Republicans saying, no, you Democrats need to switch to our side. But ultimately what we're seeing is that this is just theatrics, okay? Because it says in the scriptures that they saw a beast that had 2 horns like a lamb but spake as a dragon, right? 2 horns like a lamb going into your left wing, right wing, but they're part of the same bird, part of the same lamb. Okay, the elites at the top are ultimately controlling both sides. And ultimately the correct side to be on is the Lord's side, because you can actually see things without, you know, that confusion that they have. But snap ending, and I've seen multiple TikTok videos off YouTube of all these black women talking about how I'm not going to work, I'm never going to work a day in my life, I'm going to send my cousin with me to the store, and if y'all try to stop me, he's going to milly whop you in your jaw. You know, just saying all types of shit about how they're going to steal and loot, and if they ain't getting that snap, then they're just going to take it. And all that's going to lead to is martial law. All that's going to lead to is Esau coming down with even more wrath on you Israelites. And like I said, what we're seeing is the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, there's no such thing as coincidences. So this hurricane here, the fact that it's going over Jamaica and straight through Cuba, that's you Israelites right there. And that's the Lord bring you judgment. Okay, bringing judgment. Because Jamaica is known heavy for the witchcraft that they do. Also Cuba. You know, all that Santeria that came from Africa. Okay, they're still doing that shit till this day. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to clean the slate. And anybody that dies in these events, ultimately the Lord was the one that ordained it. Okay, contrary to popular belief, the Lord doesn't just love. Okay, he also hates. He also does evil. He says that in Deuteronomy 32:7. It says, I create light and make darkness. I kill and I make alive. Right? It also says Amos 3 and 7. If there be evil in the city, hath the Lord not done it? So what we're seeing is the Lord's bidding, and that's something that you got to always keep in mind when it comes to these type of events, is that it's all spiritual. Okay? So let's get this in Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 10. It says, verse 9, Rise up, you women that are at ease, hear my voice, you careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall be ye troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. And that's what we're starting to see right now. You see mainly those TikTok videos coming from you Israelite women, okay, you women. Because you women in this society have been uplifted, have been given all types of treats and blessings from the serpent. But guess what? The Lord is about to strip all that away and make you bare. Okay, he's going to expose the nature of you women and how you ain't no independent boss bitch. Verse 12, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Verse 11, I don't think I read that. Tremble, you women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, and for the fruitful vine. And that's already what we're seeing right now, is that they're lamenting for those nice things that they previously had. Okay, Snap hasn't even been taken out yet, and they're talking about, damn, those times when we had Snap. What am I gonna do without Snap? That's what they're doing, is they're lamenting. Let's get that word, lament. To mourn. Okay? To mourn, lament. A passionate expression of grief or sorrow. See what that word of sorrow means. A feeling of deep distress caused by loss. Right? So they're unhappy, they're sad, they feel depressed because those goodies have been taken away. But it's only going to get worse. And that's the thing, is that's why it says in Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 3, And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. Right, so the fact that it's only going to get worse, the spirit of America, it's talking about America here, the connection to that is Revelation 11 and 8, when it says that the great city Babylon is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So the spirit of America is going to fail. Okay, that patriotic spirit, the hope in America, the American dream, all that is going to fail. People are going to forget about that because you're going to see that it's not getting any better. And once all things run out, all of their carnal solutions run out, then that's when they're going to be running towards these false gods, to the left hand of witchcraft, to just try to survive. And the reason why is because they're not seeking Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. It says that in Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1, Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with the covering but not of my spirit, that they may ask sin to sin. Okay? That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Alright, so here it is, bad times are coming, but majority of you Israelites are going to be running towards Pharaoh, okay, running towards this American government for strength instead of trusting in Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. But what's going to happen? Verse 3, Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Right, so trusting upon the system is ultimately going to leave you confused at the last end, because this system is not going to help you. You're going to feel ashamed when people that didn't take the chip look at you, taking the chip, and you didn't get no benefits that they promised. Here it is, they're going to tell you, yeah, you're going to get this and that and that and this, you're going to eat or you're going to drink. Just take the chip. And as soon as you take it, they don't give you shit and they throw you in a concentration camp. You're going to feel real stupid in that day. Because you trusted in Egypt and not in Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. So, you got to pay. And what we're about to see in November 1st And this is part of it. November. Salakia. 2nd Ezra 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Right, so there's going to be a time where your Costco's, your Sam's Clubs, your Walmarts, your gas stations, your BJ's, or all these places are going to suddenly be found empty. Because when they say that, when people see that, they ain't getting no benefits no more, what are they going to do? Exactly what you just heard all those people on TikTok say. Loot, steal, and take. So as soon as they get that alert, in one day, in 1 second, they're going to be ransacking those stores. Just like in 2020. Instead, 2020, they're out here taking toilet paper. But when these people's ribs are touching the rib, it's rib on rib, they're actually starving. They're not going to be looking for toilet paper. They're going to be looking for food, water. The last thing they're going to be thinking about is how to wipe their ass. They could wipe their ass with, the ground if they cared so much. They just want to survive. That's what it's going to get to. And the only way out is Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash. Trusting in the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Because it says that in that day, their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them. So nothing carnal is going to save you from a nuclear missile, from the power of the angels. Only faith and works. So hopefully it was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, Shalom.